This episode of The Republic is brought to you by The Crew. If you're looking to check out the new upcoming CarPG, The Crew, we have 20% off. Just go to gboffer.com/thecrew.
Game Breaker TV.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Republic. It's episode 189 for August 4th, 2014. Gary Gannon. Coming up on today's show, some shit. I don't know what it's going to be. Just gonna talk about
Stuff.
no idea. Stuff. We're going to talk about Star Wars stuff. Star Wars. That's all I know.
That's right.
Laura Williams.
Ew.
Larry Everett.
Hey.
Should we just start the shelf? Should we just start the shelf in a complete downer? This is the last show of The Republic. Like that for delivery. Oh, yes, we're hanging up The Republic. 189 episodes. We're going to put hang the coat up. This is the last episode. We just felt like we wanted to come back and at least do one last one to say goodbye. So
It's these two guys last show. Oh yeah, bye.
What?
It's these two guys last show.
Actually, it's not the last show. Yeah, it's really not the last show.
It's not. It's really not.
Why'd you remind me of that? I totally forgot
show.
that. Where's my brain? It's really not the last show. So it's the last show that Laura and I are going to do, but Larry's going to keep the flame going. So,
I am. I'm definitely going to keep the flame going.
He wanted to grab that torch. He's just like, I'm going to keep
Larry.
running with the torch. I was like, yeah. So actually, the Republic's going to keep going. I'm not going to host. Laura's not going to be here. Larry's going to be here.
No.
And a new.
We're going to get
I can't
new
wait
hosts.
to see the show. It's going to be a good show. You guys are going to talk about good stuff, and I'm not going to be here to give you a hard time.
So yeah, and I'll just throw this out here right now. If anybody that's watching, because I did throw a tweet out that I want anybody that hasn't seen the show for a while to tune in right now. And if you are interested in hosting, you can send. I guess you can send either, or don't send me a tweet because then I don't know that I'll reply back to that necessarily. But send me an email at larry@hyperspacebeacon.com, and we can talk.
Looking for some good candidates. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking for some, people who have personality.
Do you want to take a week or two off to kind of like get things
I am going
to
take it. I'm going to take a couple weeks off. We won't be here. I won't be here next week, at least, and maybe the week after that. Depends on how quickly we can get turned around with hosts and whatnot. But we will be back.
All right, so a couple week hiatus, and then
Yay.
the Republic will be back with some new people.
Yeah, you're totally going to bring Leon to host.
All right, cool. There's been you got a big patch this week. Tell me a little about what's going on.
Actually, the early access to the expansion to Guild Housing, or not Guild Housing, Strongholds, Galactic Strongholds came out this week. It is Guild Housing. There's personal housing.
Guild capital ships.
Yep. And of course, I think one thing that we do have notes, if you want to pull up some of these pictures that we have here, we do have Manaan on the now live. Manaan, if anybody ever remembers Manaan from KOTOR, it's amazing.
Manaan.
Manaan is where they make Kolto, and have the Selkath race is there. It's like pretty much all water world. It is pretty amazing looking, and when I first stepped down there on Test Center, it just blew my mind.
So tell me a little about, because when we first heard about the all water world, there's so many questions, right? Like you can't swim in the game, no underwater. What's gonna, is it just gonna be like a small area?
So
is
I can tell you without a doubt that my theory is correct. No one in the Star Wars universe knows how to swim, because as soon as I got to Manaan, I jumped in the water and I drowned.
Oh, so you could actually drown? They let you jump in? They don't even put like an invisible wall. Nice.
I also discovered that you can jump off your house to your death as well. So everybody in Mumble was making fun of me for suiciding for science.
For science.
For science.
So you can't swim.
Instantly.
Yeah, you can't swim.
Nobody can swim.
It's crazy. I mean, it looks great. It looks great, but it's really kind of crazy because you're supposed to be underwater at one point, and during the you're not swimming. You're underwater, like in a building, and there's windows around you, and you can look outside and you can see fish swimming by and that sort of thing. But the water, honestly, the textures and the bump mapping and whatever, all that kind of stuff that they have on. Like the fountains that you just saw there and the water itself, it looks really amazing, especially for Tor. I was not expecting that kind of textures and whatnot. It looks really good.
I swear, this shot right here, for some reason, if you told me this was SWG 2.0, I would completely believe you. Like, it just looks like galaxies. I don't know where, but it does. So how large of an area, like how large of a space is this?
Not huge. It's actually pretty tiny. It's like a little, maybe about the size maybe of the Zioth Shadow, I guess, if I had to compare it. Sort of like you're going to run to, I don't know, from one end to another.
It kind of reminds me of like CZ198, about that size. Just
I think it's smaller than that.
Without the NPCs that are out to kill you. That's pretty much it. I mean, I think the instance is actually a little bit longer, I think, than the CZ198 instances, but it's kind of small. I was actually that's the biggest thing I was surprised about is how small it actually was. It doesn't take up much space at all. It really the only thing that's there is the instance itself. That's it. You pretty much you're running through all these hallways to get to one instance, pretty much, and it looks really cool though. I mean, it looks cool, but there's not much there. When you actually get to the game,
there's not really much of other reason to actually be there besides getting through these halls to get to the instance. That's pretty much the end game.
There's a vendor where you can get reputation items with a pretty awesome sword and saber staff or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
He's growing weed right here. Is he growing some weed on this island?
Yes, probably. It's colto weed. It's amazing.
For medicinal purposes.
Right, exactly. How do you think? Why do you think
you need a
card
card
so after you get healed? You know what's really.
Go ahead.
What's really funny is as you're going through, I think it's in the instance actually. I don't think it's in the actual building itself, but in the instance they have like this floating chemical. What do they call it? It's like this chemical structure. It's got hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and all that kind of stuff.
Like they have in science.
Yeah. So
like they're doing a diagram, except
they're showing a diagram, and it labels it colto. If you read the Arbesh on it, it labels it colto, but in fact, it's caffeine. So confirmed, colto, the healing drug in Tor is actually caffeine.
Nice.
It keeps you going.
I completely support this. How's the instance? Tell me a little bit about that.
The instance is a lot of fun. Everybody's watching the movie right now, but it's not as bad as, say, like, what the heck, Larry? What's the first Flashpoint that you do at like level 12?
Oh, you mean the SLS and Black Talent?
It's not like Black Talent, so it's not 35 minutes worth of dialogue that you have to go through, but you basically are looking for Darth Arcus and this Republic general who are doing some bad stuff, and you end up saving this ungrateful Wookiee, and you're trying to catch up with them, and it's kind of, that dude, he's totally ungrateful. Kind of a jerk. But you partner up with him, and you guys break out of this facility, and then you find out that you've got a whole another bag of mess to deal with. I won't give spoilers for people that haven't done it yet.
But the Wookiee,
Larry wants to be spoilers.
Now the Wookiee though, I can tell you about the Wookiee. A little bit about the Wookiee. I'm not going to tell you his backstory and stuff like that. But if you notice on the Wookiee's chest is a head of a droid. That droid talks.
About that. Oh, yeah, that's weird.
He talks. He talks.
Why is it on his chest?
Yeah, it's.
He got dismantled.
Right. It's kind of like, well, I don't know if anybody's read the Star Wars books, especially the Jedi Academy books. There is a Wookiee, Lobaka, that has a droid on his belt that translates for him. That's kind of what this droid does, except unlike Lobaka's translator droid, this droid kind of has its own personality. It's
Yeah, the droid is much nicer to deal with than the Wookiee.
Yeah.
The Wookiee's kind of an ass.
So I mean, everybody, I guess you guys were expecting kind of like a McCabe size like expansion this year, but I don't know
That's what they say is coming.
Well, how does this sort of compare? Does this creep? This doesn't sound like this creeps into the planet size content.
No, this is definitely not the planet-sized content. This is more of this. I would consider it about the size of Galactic Starfighter. It's a smaller kind of mini expansion, if you will. The actual expansion that is going to be like McKeb size is supposed to be coming out later this year. Still, we're still looking for it. We don't know. We know that. Okay, so the storyline that's happening on Manaan is the second part of this Forged Alliance storyline, and the expansion that's coming out is supposed to be the last part. So there is some lead up as to, and again, we don't want to give spoilers at this point because the thing's only been out for a week. So, but there's definitely some callbacks to some earlier events in the game, and it kind of seems to be tying nicely together. I think it's even though Manaan is really small, it was a lot smaller than actually I expected it to be, but even so, it does have, as far as the story is concerned, it does have some really nice callbacks to how the game originally started, and some of the things that especially on the Empire side that you had to deal with on the Empire side, you're having to deal with again. They're cropping up again, so I think that's really neat, interesting.
And the story is really good for the Flashpoint too. So if people followed it along from the first part,
right,
it's definitely worth running several times. And even I've been sitting there and watching the movie again just because it is a really good story.
So do you guys think that like this is something we kind of can come to expect over time, that these like, you know, smaller areas like this have limited content in the form of like an instance like this, and that's really the way that it's going to be delivered?
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised, to be honest, because there is a lot of new art assets on Manaan. I mean, a whole lot of new art assets, and I'm really surprised that they spent that much time for let's say so little content. I think I was expecting to see more, and maybe there will be more. Maybe, I mean, because it does. There's all sorts of rooms that aren't being used right now. In fact, there's one that's kind of sectioned off that you can't get to. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe they're going to expand onto it. Maybe when the bigger expansion comes on, they're going to do some more Manaan, and then to what is being, I guess, leaked. I know SWTOR Miner is saying that it is Rakata Prime that is going to be the next planet, so we'll see.
We're going to sell underwater tours coming through the cartel market going through Manaan. So that's what's coming up next.
There you go.
You just mentioned next planet, so I got to ask though, like, you know, this one's not even out, but what planet do you guys would you really like to see as the next one?
I have wanted to see Ziost for the longest time. It's mentioned in several of the comic books and the books and stuff, but there's not a whole lot of time spent on Ziost for anything, and I'd kind of like to see that, because it was supposed to be like the Sith capital world. This was the Droman Kos before Droman Kos, and it'd been really really nice to see that. But as SWTOR Miner is kind of leaking out, is that it's going to be Rakata Prime, which is cool. It was in KOTOR, just like Manaan was in KOTOR, so this is kind of a callback to earlier works of BioWare as well.
I think everybody knows that I really want to see Dathomir, although that's not coming anytime soon.
As long as it's not Tatooine.
Sorry.
You just want Tatooine removed from the game. Can you get Tatooine?
I don't mind Tatooine. I like questing there. It's not
Alderaan.
bad. I don't want to buy a house
Blow
there.
up Alderaan early. That's my thing.
Don't invest in real estate in Alderaan. That's a bad life choice.
Although supposedly on the last live stream, they were talking about they actually threw it to the audience and asked, what kind of place would you want to have the next Stronghold come out?
Dude, if we're getting Ricotta Prime, I want to have some Ricotta Prime. Did you see those screenshots?
Yes. Those are
I want
amazing.
a little tropical bungalow on the beach with cabana boys fanning me. Naked Twi'lek cabana boys.
In the next cartel market bag. There you go.
Yep. Well, you've already got your Twi'lek dancers. You've got your topless
male and female.
Yeah, both of them. Well, they're not. The women aren't topless, unfortunately, but
I know that's
guys
sad.
are. I know, yeah. Can't have everything, I guess.
You think the game's ever going to get playable Wookiees?
God, I hope not. Who wants to listen to the Wookiee noises all day? That would be terrible.
Although it would be funny if they had, if as a Wookiee you were required to have a droid head on your chest, so it could talk for you.
So what else? Anything else come with this patch? What else we got going on this week?
Guild
conquests. I gotta say, my guild is doing phenomenally. Well, our guild, Laura and I's guild, is doing phenomenally with conquests. I won't tell you where we're at right now, but we are doing really, really well because I don't want to jinx it. It's really what it boils down to. And I think and it's fun. It basically what conquest is, and I'll do like the elevator tour of it is basically you've got older content that they lead you back to, and you get points for doing older content, but they've also included some things like going to enemy, like as an Imperial, going to Republic locations that will flag you for PvP.
It encourages PvP.
Yeah,
open world PvP.
It's kind of cool. I'm on board with it. They've trick some things out to where it's a little bit more than just going back and doing old content.
It encourages a lot of guild togetherness and more than just playing in small groups. Like you can really get together with a big group of people and run through and destroy things, and I think that's great for the game to encourage people to play together rather than just being a solo game.
That's always definitely good stuff. So would you guys recommend that people go jump in and try this, or just wait for the full? Because
actually, what I recommend is that people join our guild so that we can do these conquests better. That's what I actually recommend. Yeah, we have a guild capital ship, guys. We have a guild capital ship. What more do you want?
Recruiting.
Right.
Where can they go to find out about the guild if they want to join?
Nefariousintent.net.
There you go.
Go there.
All right, we got anything else this week?
That's it.
Housing. Other than housing.
That's about it. So Pub's gonna take a break, take a little breather.
Yep.
Laura's gonna go bleach her hair some more.
Yes.
Larry's gonna take a break, find some co-hosts, and the Republic will be back. Well, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun, guys. 180.
It has been, and I'm gonna be really sad. And I love everybody.
It's been a really good time. It's been a great show. So many episodes.
Yeah.
I guess this is besides Twimo.
Right?
I guess besides Twimo. Yeah, I guess this is one of the longest running. It's the longest running show.
Yeah, it is. This is actually a little bit older than Twimo, isn't it? Just by a couple episodes. We'll see.
I don't think so. No, we have a couple more episodes on Twimo.
Oh.
But it's been going a long time. We started this show so early. Crazy.
We did. It was well, and what's really crazy is how much content we have been able to the whole show has been able to keep up with, because some of the other shows you kind of just like run out of content, and this show has been
Keeps
really
going.
consistent. And
so here's what's
going to
happen.
BioWare for that one.
So Larry's going to take a couple of weeks off to get things sorted, but you will be able to find this show live on the Game Breaker Twitch channel, so it'll still be on the Twitch channel. I'm probably going to assume the day and the time will change, so keep an eye on
that'll be up
Facebook
to the host.
Twitter.
Yeah, the host.
Once Larry figures that out, we'll post that and get it up on the schedule, all that good stuff. And then the show will be back, and it'll still be posted on YouTube and Game Breaker and Hyperspace Beacon and all that good stuff. So just give him a couple weeks to kind of sort things out. And we'll be back.
Yep. Yeah, it'll still be here. It'll be, same place. It'll probably be same channel at least, probably different time, because that all depend on how it works with the hosts and whatnot. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll be It'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a few changes, but not a whole lot. It'll still be the same show.
I can't wait to watch it and be a spectator. Now I get to
All
watch
right.
it from the other end. Tune in. So tune in. All right, gang. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And Larry, we'll see you back with the Republic in a couple short weeks. Bye, guys.
All right. See ya.